Good evening. The time is 9 p.m. U.S. Central Time. This program is coming to you live from Chicago. And in the news at this hour, CNN reports that a whistleblower is alleging that Republican political appointees who manage the Department of Homeland Security repeatedly instructed staff members to tamper with intelligence assessments. This was done with the aim of making the reports line up with misleading public comments being made by President Trump. Specifically, acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf and acting Director of Immigration Ken Cuccinelli, both Trump appointees, directed members of the department to exaggerate the threat from left-leaning groups and downplay threat assessments on right-wing white supremacist organizations out of concern that the latter might reflect badly on Trump. The whistleblower is Brian Murphy, a senior official within the Department of Homeland Security. In addition to these falsifications demanded by his superiors, Murphy was also told to downplay the threat of Russian interference in the upcoming election because they said it would make the president look bad. Murphy refused to comply with this instruction, insisting it would jeopardize national security. CNN correspondent Evan Perez explains further the Russia angle in Murphy's report.
There's a separate allegation that he has now made, by the way. He says that, according to him, the department was also instructed to downplay the threat from Russia with regard to election interference and to emphasize the threat that was posed by China. Now, that also matches the rhetoric from the president, who doesn't really want to hear. We've heard this repeatedly from officials who left the department and who left the administration. The president doesn't really want to hear about the threat from Russia. He wants to hear about the threat posed by China, in part because the Russians are trying to help his re-election.
Murphy told his superiors their instructions would put the country in substantial danger, according to his written complaint, which was filed this afternoon with the DHS Inspector General. Representative Adam Schiff of California, the Democratic chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, said in a statement that Murphy's complaint outlines grave and disturbing allegations that senior White House and Department of Homeland Security officials improperly sought to manipulate intelligence in order to benefit President Trump politically. This puts our nation and its security, he said, at grave risk. The Washington Post reports today on famed Watergate-era reporter Bob Woodward's new book, titled Rage. The book covers race relations, diplomacy with North Korea, and a range of other issues that have arisen within the Trump administration during the past 2 years. Among the claims, Trump knew the coronavirus was deadly and worse than the flu, all the while intentionally misleading Americans to the contrary. In a further startling claim, Woodward writes that Trump admitted to him on March 19th that he deliberately minimized the danger, saying, "I want to play it down." Woodward today released audio recordings of his several phone conversations with Trump, which fully corroborate his allegations within the book. GOP senators have unveiled their so-called skinny stimulus bill as Congress resumes debating the next coronavirus measures. The bill includes a $300 per week federal boost for unemployment benefits and fresh relief for small businesses, but it cuts out money for a second round of stimulus checks that was included in an earlier proposal. The bill could go to a vote this week, but it does not have full GOP support, and Democrats want a bill with much larger aid allocations. There is still very little hope that both sides will come to a stimulus agreement before the November election. More than 85 fires are burning across the West Coast in an unprecedented outbreak that has already scorched hundreds of thousands of acres. At least 25 wildfires are burning in California alone, and the blazes stretch practically the full length of the state. Winds and extreme heat have worsened the flames. In Oregon, fires have scorched more than 230,000 acres and forced thousands of families to evacuate. Washington Governor Jay Inslee said more acreage was burned Monday in his state than in the past 12 fire seasons combined. Weather forecasts indicate the entire region will continue to be plagued with hot and dry weather, providing no respite from the historic blazes. Here is our nightly coronavirus update. Bradley University in the town of Peoria, Illinois, began measures today to quarantine its entire student body and temporarily shift to remote learning as it seeks to gain a handle on coronavirus outbreaks that have appeared on campus. An announcement from the university's president instructed all students to quarantine themselves in their residence halls until September 23rd. The school has over 5,000 students. 9 vaccine makers have signed an unusual pledge to, quote, uphold high ethical standards in their pursuit of a coronavirus vaccine. That means they probably will not attempt to seek premature government approval, even though the race for a vaccine has become entangled with politics. Meanwhile, it is now estimated that 500,000 U.S. children have been diagnosed with COVID-19, with the child infection rate increasing in recent weeks. Here are the current virus numbers from Johns Hopkins University Medical Center. Total cases now in the United States, 6,352,000, up by approximately 37,000 from yesterday's number. The death toll now stands at just over 190,000, an increase of 1,100 over yesterday's estimate. More news in just a moment.
CDC is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of a novel or new coronavirus. There are steps you can take now to get ready if an outbreak occurs in your community. Make a household plan. Learn how to prepare and to take quick action if someone gets sick. Older adults and people with chronic medical conditions are at greater risk. Take extra steps to protect them. Think about what you will do if there are changes to your work schedule. And remember to always practice good health habits, such as frequently washing hands with soap and water, staying home when sick, and covering coughs and sneezes. For more information, visit cdc.gov.
9:07 p.m. Chicago time. In economic news, U.S. shopping mall owners Simon Property Group and Brookfield Property Partners are close to finalizing an $800 million deal to rescue embattled department store chain JCPenney from bankruptcy. The move would avoid a liquidation and save about 70,000 jobs among 650 stores. That's according to Joshua Sussberg of the law firm Kirkland and Ellis. Simon and Brookfield will pay roughly $300 million in cash and assume $500 million in debt. Wells Fargo Bank has also agreed to give Penny's a $2 billion revolving credit line once the transaction is completed, leaving the retailer with about $1 billion in cash. Penny's plans to seek formal approval from the bankruptcy judge for the rescue deal early next month. On Wall Street today, all 3 major indexes regained some of the territory lost in recent sessions. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 440 to finish at 27,940. NASDAQ gained 294 to close at 11,142. And the S&P 500 ended the day at 3,399. That's plus 67 points. And now for the weather report. Fires are burning, as we mentioned in our news wrap-up, and the National Weather Service is continuing the fire warnings from western Oregon into California and parts of the Southwest. One hopeful note is that even though the hot and dry conditions will continue, the winds are expected to lessen in the region. Elsewhere, thunderstorms and heavy rain will produce flash flood concerns in Texas and Oklahoma. Thunderstorms also for the mid-Atlantic and southeast. Winter storm warnings are in effect for the central Rockies through tomorrow, thanks to that freakish cold front that moved in. That should be dissipating over the next 24 hours or so. For Chicagoland, tonight, cloudy, but rain not on the agenda, low around 61. Tomorrow, Thursday, continued cloudy, daytime high 64. Slight chance of afternoon showers, about 20%. And then tomorrow night, also 20% rain chance and low of about 60. Our current conditions, 62 degrees at Midway Airport, 61 at the lakefront. Humidity way up there, 90%. North wind at 10 miles per hour. AccuWeather radar shows some moderate thunderstorms in parts of Wisconsin and Michigan, but nothing to speak of in Chicagoland. Just cloud cover with light drizzles and mist in the very damp night air. The time is 9:10 p.m. and once again here at Radio City we have 61 drippy degrees.
Live from Chicago, Variety Broadcast presents Radio Classics. Now here's your host, Tom Edwards.
Choose. How can I explain when words get broken? Do you remember there was a time when people on the street were walking hand in hand in hand? They used to talk about the weather, making plans together. Days will last forever. Come to me, cover me, hold me. Together we'll break these chains of love. Don't give up, don't give up. Together with me and my baby, break the chains of love. Do you remember once upon a time when there were open doors, an invitation to the world? We were falling in love with lovers, looking out for others, our sisters and our brothers. Come to me, cover me, hold me. Together we'll break these chains of love. Don't give up, don't give up now. Together with me and my baby, break the chains of love. Together we'll break these chains of love. How can I explain when there are few words I can choose? And how can I explain when words get broken? We used to talk about the weather, making plans together. Days will last forever. Come to me, cover me, hold me. Together we'll break these chains of love. Don't give up now. Together with me and my baby, break the chains of love. Together we'll break these chains of love. Don't give up, don't give up. Together with me and my baby, break the chains of love. Together we'll break these chains of love. Don't give up.
Radio Classics starting us off with the talents of Erasure. Break these chains of love, or at least give me the key. What do you mean you forgot where the key is? Like that I Love Lucy episode where they were in handcuffs. You remember that one? Lucy put the two of them, she and Ricky, into handcuffs. Chains of love. They were part of Fred's vaudeville act, and he didn't have the key. They were supposed to be trick handcuffs that would just drop off. You shook them a little bit, but that didn't work, and they had to call a locksmith, come extricate themselves from yet another crazy situation. Now, let's see. We have some very fine audience members and trivia masters on the board with us tonight. I'm trying to figure out who the individual using the nickname Guest 138 might be. I read with much interest your mention of news stories from your grandparents back in the day that they listened to on the radio. Now, you don't have to give full name. First name is fine. I'm just wondering, since we're all on a first name basis, who that might be behind Guest 138. Is it different from the others? I see Celeste is here, Pat, Carlotta. Mike is playing around with various nicknames. He's Bertha right now, Bertha Butt, one of the Butt sisters. Gotta find a woman, gotta find a woman. The Jimmy Castor Bunch, I remember it well. I had that record, in fact, pulled out, a couple of weeks ago because I was going to surprise him with it and play it. And then, I don't know, it sort of slipped my mind. Got a mind like a sieve these days. 16 minutes after 9 o'clock p.m. in the windy city of Chicago. Not so much windy tonight, but damp. It's one of those nights where you can reach out and just like a washcloth, wring water out of the air. The humidity is 90%, and it's chilly because we are now in the low 60s. It's as though somebody just pushed a button on a thermostat and bang, summer's over. We've gone from 90 down to 60. Not as crazy as some of the other parts of the country. Denver went from 97 degrees on Sunday to something like 32. I have a grade school classmate who lives out in that area, and she was posting some information on her Facebook page, including taking a snapshot of their weather report indicating that they were under a snow watch. But you know that climate change, why, as the genius in the Oval Office would say, it's nothing but a Chinese hoax. Yeah, sure. Well, we've got some nice music lined up for you. We have some news notes to bring your way. We have our usual interesting features. At least I hope you find them interesting. The word of the day, this date in history, lots of good music, and, of course, our world-famous trivia game. We have the greatest game show contestants in all of cyberspace right here with us on our Trivia Masters game. That would be you. I'm glad you're here. We'll get the game started right after this important message from one of our fine sponsors.
Fruit juicy. Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch?
Sure.
You taste 7 kinds of fruit in Hawaiian punch. 7 kinds of fruit in Hawaiian punch. Hawaiian punch is made with 7 kinds of fruit for a one-of-a-kind fruit taste.
Hawaiian Punch Fruit Punch with 10% real fruit juice for a real fruit juicy taste.
Hawaiian punch is made with 7 kinds of fruit.
Or a one-of-a-kind fruit taste.
All right, now here's how we play our world-famous trivia game. It's played with Monopoly money. We give prizes away for each round, each correct answer, and whoever has the most Monopoly dollars saved up by the end of the broadcast wins a fabulously expensive grand prize. Tonight we're giving away the second of the glitzy green properties, North Carolina Avenue. That will look fabulous in your real estate portfolio. Now please remember, no search engines, no Google or Bing or Yahoo. You can ask your boyfriend or girlfriend or hubby or wifey or your kitty cat, but no electronic people are allowed to participate. So no Siri, no Alexa, none of that. Be careful about multi-part questions. We do include those from time to time. So if it is a multi-part question, make sure you answer all parts of it. Otherwise, your entry will not be counted. All right, now that we got the rules out of the way, Let's kick the old machine into gear and get the game going. Round one, here we go. $30 on the table. This time our category is history. A Spanish general who led the nationalist forces in overthrowing the Second Spanish Republic during the Spanish Civil War and thereafter ruled over Spain from 1939 to 1975 as dictator, assuming the title caudillo, which in English basically means strongman. He was sometimes called generalissimo. Name this past political figure. $30 history. We're talking about a Spanish general who ruled Spain from 1939 to 1975. He assumed the title caudillo, which means strongman in English. No penalty for wrong answer, so you're welcome to take a guess if you wish. Give it a shot. Good luck. And meantime, we'll hear some nice music from Karen and Richard, the Carpenters. Let me see that sweet, sweet smile.
You're always in my heart, from early in the morning till it's dark. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day. When I wake up in the morning and I see you there, I always whisper a little prayer. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day. I gotta know that you love me and that you want me and that you'll always be there. I gotta know that you care, and I gotta be your arms around me and that you need me and you'll always be there. I gotta know that you care. If my time's bringing me down, you're the only one that I want around. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day. And if I'm all strung out, you're the only one who can straighten me out. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day. I gotta know that you love me and that you want me and that you'll always be there. I gotta know that you care, and I gotta be your arms around and that you need me and you'll always be there. I gotta know that you care. I gotta know that you love me and that you want me and that you'll always be there. I gotta know that you care, and I gotta be your arms around and that you need me and you'll always be there. I gotta know that you care. You're always in my heart, from early in the morning till it's dark. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day. I gotta see your sweet, sweet smile every day.
Carpenters for you on Radio Classics 923. In the evening, Tom Edwards, your host for the most popular music on the coast. Or shore, if you prefer. On the shores of Gitche Gumi. No, that's the big one. That's the nickname for Lake Superior, isn't it? We'll have to come up with a little... I've got to work on that poetry, let me put it that way. The coast is not really right when you're inland, but shore doesn't rhyme with host with the most. So what am I going to do? I'll leave it up to you. You can author something very clever for me, and I'll give you 50 cents extra in Monopoly money. How's that for a payoff? Let's do the word of the day before we unveil tonight's first winner. From the robot lady, can we have our introduction?
Word of the day.
Ding! Her bell is a little bit out of tune tonight. From the Merriam-Webster Dictionary at m-w.com. Today's word of the day is longanimity. Ooh, that's a mouthful. L-O-N-G-A-N-I, MITY, M-I-T-Y, longanimity. It sounds like a cartoon animal or something. Hippity Hop and Longanimity were playing in the forest one day when a wicked old witch came along. It means a disposition to bear injuries patiently. Forbearance, the ability to put up with hardship. Use it in a sentence, as my 7th grade English teacher was fond of saying. Jean Stapleton did a good job portraying the Edith Bunker character, known for her great longanimity in putting up with her bigoted husband, Archie. That's our word of the day from m-w.com. Merriam-Webster, the dictionary people. All right, take a quick break and we'll come back and see who won round one of trivia. Don't go away.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
All right, audience, nice round of applause for Celeste. Good job. Round one, trivia winner. Nice $30 win on that one. History was the category. The Spanish general who ruled Spain 1939 to 1975. Yes, indeed, that was Francisco Franco. Had a couple of correct answers on the board, but Celeste had the fastest typing fingers, so that round goes to her. Congrats, $30 win. Here comes question number 2. Technology this time, and we have $25 in this round's jackpot. Tiny dots on a view screen. Whether we are talking about the old-fashioned picture tube of a 1960s color TV, or a modern computer monitor, or your handheld smartphone screen, they all have these dots in common. They change color and brightness. That's how you are able to see images. What are those dots called? Doctor, I've been seeing spots before my eyes. $25, technology. Tiny dots on a view screen. What are they called? And musically for us, up next, how does Johnny Rivers sound? Well, he sounds like this.
Long distance information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. Help me find a party that tried to get in touch with me. She could not leave a number, but I know who place to call. Cause my uncle took the message and he wrote it on the wall. Help me information, get in touch with my Marie. She's the only one who'd call me here from Memphis, Tennessee. Her home is on the south side, high up on the ridge, just a half a mile from the Mississippi Bridge. Last time I saw Marie, she was waving me goodbye. With her home drops on her cheek that trickled from her eye. But we were pulled apart because her mom did not agree, and tore apart our happy home in Memphis, Tennessee. Help me information, more than that I cannot add. Only that I miss her and all the fun we had. Marie is was only 6 years old. Information, please. Try to put me through to her in Memphis, Tennessee.
There we have Johnny Rivers for you, Memphis, Tennessee. I wonder how many younger people would even know what the heck that reference is about long-distance information. Information didn't actually put the calls through, but you remember you could, back in those days, dial for information and get the number. They used to do it for free, and then AT&T was still operating a 411 service, at least that I know of. Now, maybe it's still going on. I don't know. I haven't dialed it in several years, but I think it was up to about $1 a call. But it used to be free way back in the day. All right, we have another trivia winner. And let's see, looks like Mike this time, $25 win. Good job. Technology was the category. Tiny dots on the view screen that change color and change brightness and all of that. They are common to color TVs and computer monitors and handheld smartphone screens. All of those use pixels. That's how you see pictures on the screen. Pixels is absolutely right. All right, we'll have question number 3 for you in just a moment. Don't go away.
You worked too hard, you ate too much, the cheesecake made you greedy. Let your aching head and stomach hear this message from old Speedy. Alka-Seltzer, plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Ah, those Speedy Alka-Seltzer bubbles burst into action to relieve your upset stomach and aching head fast. Use only as directed. Oh, what a relief it is. What a relief.
I see that Gwen now corrected the guest 132 or whatever it was to reflect her own first name, and then next thing I know, she vanished. I was getting ready to say hi. I don't. Maybe she had a technical problem and dropped off. If she comes back in, let me know and I'll wave. Huh? All right, let's see. Question number 3. Here we go. Kick the old machine into gear for me, somebody. There. Round and round she goes. Here it is. Oh, goody. Name that tune. All right, $25 on the barrel. I can give you a little hint on this one. A top 10 hit from 1973 for this Motown band. Now remember, with Name That Tune, as always, it's a two-parter because we need both singer and song. So please be sure to include both in your entry. Otherwise, we can't count it, okay? Here comes your audio clue. Turn up your volume just a little bit. $25. Name that tune. Give a listen. Here we go.
Name that tune.
Say you feel the same way too, and I wonder what it is I feel for you.
And now, here's more of Radio Classics with your host, Tom Edwards.
I can't stop loving you. I've made up my mind to live in memories of the lonesome time. I can't stop wanting you. It's useless to say, so I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. Those happy hours that we once knew, though long ago, it still make me blue. They say that time heals a broken heart, since we've been apart. I made up my mind to live in memories of the lonesome time. I can't stop walking you. It's useless to say, so I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterdays. Those happy hours. Those happy hours that we once knew. I said I made up my mind to live in memories of the lonesome time. Sing the song, children. I can't stop walking you. It's useless to say, so I'll just live my life of dreams of yesterday. Of yesterday.
Mr. Ray Charles and Company, fabulous tune, I Can't Stop Loving You, on Radio Classics. Yes, Carlotta is absolutely right. That's me, the Chi-Town guy. Chi-Town, one of our nicknames for our fine city. I was starting to wonder whether Gwen is I have two very nice friends named Gwen. Gwenny Pooh in Canada and Guinevere here in the Chicago suburbs. It's the latter. So that's the lady in purple. Oh, the lady in purple. We have the lady in purple and the lady in red tonight. And we've got a lady in gray and one in green. And we have a lady with a sideways dog in her profile, too. Did you notice that? That reminds me, you know, you can, if you wish, put a little picture in your round profile. It doesn't show up very big, but if you click on it, see, then people can see what picture you're using. And I've got one that I dug up, and a friend and I were discussing it, and this one wound up not being used. But I'll tell you what, I'll put it here on the chat board, and if anybody would like it, they can grab it and put it into their profile. Now, give me a minute, and I'll find it. Meantime, congrats to Pat on our Name That Tune round of trivia. Good job, Pat. $25 win. Yes, indeed, the Spinners. Could it be I'm Falling in Love? Well, could be. That's our Name That Tune win for Pat, 25. And here's what our scoreboard looks like. Mike and Pat tied for first. No, excuse me, tied for second. 25 apiece. Celeste is in first with $30.
Since I met you, I've begun to feel so strange. Every time I speak your name, that's funny. You say that you are so helpless too, that you don't know what to do.
Radio Classics bringing you the talents of the Spinners. Could it be I'm Falling in Love? I was just chit-chatting on the board and reminiscing with Carlotta. I think that is from the I Love Lucy episode where she says, is your collie off his trolley? Is your cocker off his rocker? Is your poodle off his noodle? I think, if memory serves, that's the episode where they were on the European tour, and she is standing outside Buckingham Palace with Ethel, making faces and telling jokes, trying to get one of the palace guards to laugh. To no avail, of course. Even Lucille Ball could not get a very staid and sedate palace guard to break character and laugh. All right, let's look backward in time now, shall we? The 9th of September. Open your history books, and we'll look back in time. This date in history on this year, or I should say this day in the year 1776. Time to pick out a name for the baby. Baby country, that is. The Continental Congress formally declared that the name of the new nation would be the United States of America. This replaced the term United Colonies, which had been up to that point in general use. 1971 on this date, the riot at Attica Prison. I think Al Pacino started it. Attica. Remember that film? That was a good movie. What was the name of that movie? Oh, Dog Day Afternoon, yes, where he robbed a bank. Let's see now, 1893 on this date. Frances Folsom Cleveland, the wife of President Grover Cleveland, gave birth to their daughter Esther in the White House. 1850 on this date, California became the 31st state in the Union. 1956, the king of rock and roll teamed up with TV's reigning king of the variety show as Elvis Presley appeared on Ed Sullivan for the first of several appearances. And let's see, famous birthdays today. Leo Tolstoy, Russian novelist, born 1828. Alf Landon, the governor of Kansas and Republican candidate for president in the 1936 election, born this date 1887. There are landslides and there are landslides. Try running against Franklin Roosevelt in the height of the Depression. The Electoral College tally was Roosevelt 523 against Alf Landon 8. The two states that went red were Maine and Vermont. Also born on this date, Colonel Harlan Sanders, founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, born 1890. The late Cliff Robertson, actor, born 1923. Child actress Angela Cartwright. She played Linda on the Danny Thomas Show when she was real little, about 5 years old, 6 maybe. She played Brigitte Von Trapp in The Sound of Music and Penny on Lost in Space. She is 68 years old today. English actor Hugh Grant, celebrating number 60. Comedian and actor Adam Sandler, number 54. And Canadian singer and actor Michael Bublé, number 45. And finally, a musical birthday boy, the late Otis Redding, American singer and songwriter, born on this date in 1941.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and then I'll watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, 'cause I've had nothing to live for, and look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting on a dock of a bay, wasting time. Look like nothing's gonna change. Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Listen, sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. Listen, 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just gonna sit at the dock of a bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm sitting on the dock of a bay, wasting time.
Musical birthday boy, the late Otis Redding, born 1941. 9:49 p.m. Let's see, our trivia game looks like this. Celeste is out in front with 30. Mike and Pat tied in second place at 25 apiece. Here comes another question. This time we have geography for you. Geography, $25. Here are your clues. Peconic Bay, Southampton, Suffolk, 516. What island are we talking about? All right, once more, $25 geography. Your clues are Peconic Bay, Southampton, Suffolk, 516. Tell me the island we're talking about. And while you're thinking about that one, here's a nice piece from our treasure chest of musical memories.
Thanks for the memories.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man and man must have his mate. That no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Sinatra, as Celeste identified him, the chairman of the board, the Hoboken boy, Mr. Blue Eyes, Radio Classics with a timeless piece. 9:53 p.m., and yes, indeed, Pat, a New Yorker, I kind of figured she might get that one. Good job. Round 4. Trivia winner, that goes to Pat. Geography was the question, $25 win. The clues were Peconic Bay. That's the body of water that is in between the two forks where the island reaches and branches out up at its northern end. Southampton and Suffolk, those are towns within it, and 516 or 516. That used to be the area code for the whole island. Now they've split it into additional ones in more recent years, but for many, many, many years, 516 was the area code of Long Island, New York. Long Island. Good job to Pat on that one. So that brings Pat up to first place now, $50. Celeste is in second with 30, and Mike at 25.
It's new. It's the newest Spearmint.
The coolest spearmint.
New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
The chilliest.
Most refreshingest. New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum. The truest spearmint flavor that starts lively. Spearmint flavor that stays lively. The flavor's in it. The flavor's on it.
In each minty green swirl.
You can taste the added flavor. You can see the added flavor.
In each flavorful frosty green mint swirl.
It's the newest, coolest, mintiest flavor ever put in one stick of gum.
From Beech Nut.
New Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
More flavor to choose. More flavors to choose. The flavor starts lively. The flavor stays lively. By Beech Nut. By Beech Nut. By Beech Nut. By gum.
Try Beech Nut Frosty Mint Gum.
All right, here comes our next question. Movies this time. $20 on the barrel. The year is 1985. I'm seated in the theater, settled into my favorite seat, about 12 rows back from the screen, aisle seat on the right-hand side, and I've got my extra large pig-out-sized bag of strawberry Twizzlers, my tub of buttered popcorn, and a medium-sized Sprite. The cartoons and the coming attractions have finished, and the main feature is starting to play. The credits are rolling, and we see big names like Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg, Adolph Caesar, Oprah Winfrey, and a long list of other good players, directed by Steven Spielberg. What's the movie? All right, $20. Movies the category. The year is 1985. In fact, this was the fourth biggest box office hit of the year, starring Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg, Adolph Caesar, Oprah Winfrey, and many other good players, directed by Steven Spielberg. Give it a guess if you don't know. Good luck. Take a shot. Meantime, Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66.
Day after day, alone on a hill, the man with the foolish grin is keeping perfectly still. But nobody wants to know him. They can see that he's just a fool, and he never gives an answer. But the fool on the hill sees the sun going down. sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning
Isn't that nice? That is Sergio Mendes and his orchestra called Brazil 66. Interesting story behind that one. That is the only time anybody ever did a cover of a Beatles tune and had a bigger hit with it than the Beatles themselves did. And that was a big hit, too, top 10. All right, 10 o'clock, time for me to head out of here, but we will settle up the trivia game before we go. First of all, nice round of applause for all of our contestants. You done good? Yeah, boy. Thanks for playing. Now, with that last question, the movie question, Celeste picked up $20. The film was The Color Purple. Yes, indeed, The Color Purple. And so our scoreboard finalizes like this. Mike finishes with 25. Celeste and Pat now tied for first, $50 apiece. So we will allow them to split the glitzy green property, North Carolina Avenue. I'll post the title deed for the winners on the board in just a moment. Meantime, now we have a brand new share on Facebook button on my website, if you noticed on your way in. I would appreciate it if you would push that and share it with your Facebook friends. Or if you want to tell people in person about the broadcast, that's good too. Just tell them to click up tomedwards.info on whatever internet device they are using. That's tomedwards.info. And I'll say thanks in advance for doing that. Lastly, keep your mask on whenever you go out for any kind of errand. I want you to be safe. Listen to the medical experts, not the crazy man in the Oval Office. Okay, I will talk to you tomorrow night. Thanks very much for tuning in. Good to see you. Tom Edwards, all the best to you.